All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome if you are new here. Thank you guys so much for joining me today and waiting patiently for the intro to finish up, and also streaming later than normal on a Sunday, 2 hours late to be exact. But that's because we got a ton of snow. It's not done snowing, but I still had to shovel most of that snow because if I didn't, it would just be too much by the time it's finished. So, yeah, sorry about that. Michael, what's going on, man? Who else is driving in the snow while watching MBG? You're driving in the snow. Well, be careful. Be safe out there, Michael. You know, those roads are kind of crazy right now. But yeah, man, I mean, I knew we were getting a lot of snow. They weren't kidding. They weren't kidding. New person here from Denver. Denver, thank you, man. Thank you for hanging out. Just chilling, Gothmog. Ghetto God says he's only been outside once today, and it was to let his dog out. How'd your dog like it? Yeah, it's crazy out there right now, man. You got to be careful. Got to be real careful. I was like kind of shocked, I have to admit. I was like looking outside. I'm like, it's not that bad. But then I went out there. And I'm like, okay, this is worse than I thought. But when I went to go shovel the snow, it was during a time when it's like still really light. It's not really all packed in yet. It's not frozen over. But the problem is it's still not stopping. So I probably won't be able to do it again until tonight, maybe, or, you know, tomorrow. And by that point, who knows what it's going to be like. But we have, what was that? Terror Keiko? I'm just going to call you Terror. 6340 decides to become a channel member. Welcome to Greatness Awaits, my friend. Thank you so much for that. That actually will add that to the goal right now. Really appreciate it. We have some members content on the channel. When you're finished here today, if you want more content, go check that out. We'll have more members content coming up. And yeah, if you guys want to support the channel, consider becoming a member, gifting memberships. We hit 25. We'll feed Luna here. She's already here nice and early. So thank you for that. Ray, what's going on, man? Welcome to the cult. Robes on the left, bananas on the right. Orientation on Monday, my boy. What have I done? What have I done? I am scared. I think I accidentally joined a cult. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. But sorry, Terrier. Let me Terror. I don't know why I'm calling you Terrier. Let me add you here to the goal. Why is this always so... God, man. You think I would be better at this than I am? All right. Where am I at? I'm on the northeast. Yeah. So all snow where I'm at. Apparently we're going to be getting some freezing rain later, which hopefully that doesn't result in anything bad. Yeah, dude. Yeah. I had a whole bucket of ice melt of, whole bucket. And yesterday I put it everywhere. I don't know if it did anything. Maybe it made the shoveling I did a little bit easier, but I used the whole bucket. So it's not snowing where you are, Ghetto God. We got nothing. It barely snowed this morning. We're only predicted to get 1 to 3 inches. 1 to 3 inches, huh? Yeah, that's not too bad, man. Where I'm at, we're predicted to get a total of about like 18 inches. So yeah, that's how that's going. Oh, Power Boss. So yeah, I know about that. They had to make a new account. Were they hidden recently? Because I've been seeing them in my streams. Let me know if that was recent. Okay, I think she's in the Discord, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I'll double check later on if I can remember. Remind me at the end. I'll go check. Rich Rod, yeah, bro. Oh my God. There's just some things that shouldn't be created on AI. Guys, we're bringing fanboyism to an end. You understand? Actually, that's not true. I'm just going to be bipolar about it. Jekyll and Hyde type shit. You know what I'm saying? One day I'm going to be out here and be like, everything's fine. Everything's great. Peace, joy, everybody in unity. You know, who knows? Maybe I show up. Maybe I show up with a backwards hat, chain around my neck, jumpsuit. Maybe I'm smashing an Xbox Series S toaster. I don't know. What's it going to be? Yeah, streaming a little bit later than usual. I do apologize for that. I try to be as consistent as I can with the timing. I'm usually really good about it, but due to the weather conditions, had no choice but to delay it. Oh, man. Dude, I should have started this stream. Missed opportunity. I have bananas too, although I think they're green. They're not ripe yet. So I wouldn't have wanted. Eating non-ripe bananas is just awful. Just awful. He's messing with the Italian mob here, bro. No, you know, yeah, I don't know. I think we kind of like sorted things out. We worked things out. You know, I think we're cool. I think we are. I don't know. We might still have to go at it though. That just might have to be a thing that continues. Sometimes we'll be cool. Sometimes we'll be going at it. Whiskey, you're saying I am 3 hours from Tampa. Perfect timing. Well, I'm glad you could be here, Whiskey. Josh, you're saying I sent you a direct about those delay rumors. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that today. We got we have some interesting topics to talk about. We have another PS6 delay report to go over. And this analyst is saying like it's going to be delayed by multiple years, bro. So yeah. And Moonshot, let me read what you're saying here. You're saying you started talking about the PS6 right after the Pro launched. If the PS6 launches in 2030, then you'd have talked about PlayStation 6 for 6+ years, bro. Pump the brakes. Talking about the PS6 for 6+ years sounds perfect to me. 1 year for every generation. Well, you know, hey, look, I've told you, everybody's hypocritical. All right, everybody's hypocritical from time to time. Nobody's perfect. I'll try to be perfect. I ain't gonna be perfect. It's all good. It's all good. No, yeah, we were laughing. We're all laughing. It's funny. We're laughing. I think we're laughing. I'm crying on the inside. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about that though. We're gonna be talking about the PS6 delay report. We're also, and I, you know, again, I think that's what a lot of you guys want to hear. A lot of you guys want to hear that the PS6 is going to be delayed. There definitely are people on my channel who want the PS6 day one. Whoa, 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 Luna, what are you doing there? Okay, just please don't cause destruction. Cause destruction. Just be good. I mean, Luna, I like that you want to hang out here more. It's nice to have you. Just don't destroy my my poster there. She's admiring Kratos. She's like, I want to feel his buff muscles. We're also going to be talking about we have some new data for Ghost of Yotei sales alongside PS5 Pro sales, and they're both a little bit surprising. A little bit. Not like totally mind-blowing. A little bit shocking, low-key shocking, I don't know. And we're also going to talk about how the head of Xbox Game Studios just came out and did an interview and expressed that they want to be more consistent with their day one launches on PS5, which is interesting because I think that they're trying to address why Forza isn't day one on PS5. I don't think they need to, but it seems to be a thing that they're trying to talk about. We have Chris Brown with a super chat. He says, Portal Pro rumor, 100 hertz OLED. Thoughts? Well, I haven't seen that rumor, or I don't think I've heard anything about that. That would actually be a smart idea on Sony's part. You know, I didn't think about that, but 120 hertz OLED, Portal Pro? Why not? Why not? You know, better version of the Portal. I don't see anything wrong with it. A lot of people would appreciate that OLED screen, I'll tell you that. Especially those who played the Vita. Rich Rod with the $2 chat says, show respect. Play the banana video for the people. Maybe. Relax, Rich Rod. It's early. I didn't sleep much last night. Storm was keeping me up. You just want to play Gears of War E-Day? Day one of my Pro. That's going to be so good. Josh says, PS6 delays. Music to my ears. Bring on that PSSR update. Still waiting to hear about that. Yeah. We should be hearing about it very soon. Does that mean that Forza Horizon 7 will be day one on PS6? I mean, probably, yeah. Planning on any new posters in the back at some point? I don't know. Maybe eventually like a Wolverine one. If I'm up to it. Eventually, listen, guys, when I'm finished my basement, I'm going to be showing you around. We're not always going to be confined to just this, you know? But it's not finished yet. It's almost done. I made substantial progress. And I'm not trying to overhype it or anything. It's not going to look like the greatest thing in the world. But I will have a lot more freedom to just kind of, I don't know. Got to set the stage for the Series S toaster destruction, you know? I'll contact you on Discord later and put you in touch with Ladies New Discord. Oh, it's okay. All right, well, yeah, I appreciate you letting me know. I wonder who, yeah, I don't know. I wonder why her account would have gotten banned. That's weird. Sony has to announce a state of play this week. No. Nate the Hate actually replied to my tweet. And he said he hasn't heard anything yet. Doesn't mean there won't be one, but the tweet that I put out is I was letting people know, like, listen, man, for the past 5 years, Sony has done a state of play in the last week of January or the first week of February, consistently for 5 years straight. 5 years straight, you know? If they decide not to do that again, it's kind of going to be a complete deviation from the pattern that they've established. What's interesting to me is we haven't heard anything, like nothing from Jeff Grubb. Nate the Hate said he hasn't heard anything. So if Sony is planning on doing a state of play within the next couple weeks, it's going to just be something that didn't leak, that nobody heard about, which I would be all about. That'd be great. But I don't think I don't know if there needs to be a rush per se. I mean, but they did kind of establish that expectation, you know? Welcome to the cult, MBG. Oh my God. Guys, chill. Like, they want me to be part of the cult. Maybe I gotta start my own cult. Maybe. Oh no, I got a lot to think about. In docking, I reserved your spot in docking port H. Oh no. What have I done? What have I done, man? Part of the mob. Oh yeah, MRPD, you're saying if it's happening, if there's a state of play happening, you think it's going to be or you're asking if I think it's going to be a Resident Evil 9 state of play. something, I don't know, man. I don't know if Capcom is like, look, we showed enough, that's it. But they do kind of make it seem like they're leaving more on the table. Like there's more that they definitely want to show but are not showing. So I don't know, but they're partnered with Nvidia now, and they don't seem to have any marketing whatsoever, with Sony. I think that deal between them expired. So apparently Sony's serious about stopping things from leaking out these days. I believe it. They can't stop everything though. I feel like this a state of play leaking, like when it's going to be a leak, or when it's going to happen. I mean, I don't think that's a serious leak, but if it's happening in February, most likely will be. I mean, you would think so. If they do a state of play before Resident Evil 9 comes out, I would be shocked if RE9 didn't show up at all. That would be crazy to me. Like, I feel like you want to get at least one marketing beat with Sony just because Resident Evil and PlayStation are kind of synonymous. Yo, MBG, I'm late to day 2 of the war. What's happening? Gaming survivors stand down for now. I think me and Oh No, It's Alex have a bit of a truce. Somewhat. We've reached this kind of, hey, what's going on? Hey, everything's cool, We don't know if we want that bald on bald violence. But we don't know if it'll last. Because as he acknowledged, we are seemingly just still going to butt heads at times because I'm still a PlayStation guy. I'm still the PlayStation fanboy. I think these dudes want to convert me to PC. I think that's what they're trying to do. They want to convert me to Steam, and I'm like, it ain't gonna happen. So I don't know. When did we make this truce? I stopped by his stream. Yeah, I stopped by his stream. We had a little talk. No, it went good. It went good. It was pretty funny. But yo, man, I used to think you guys were rough with me. I used to think you guys were coming out here and like taking shots at me and being harsh towards me. Whoa, man. This is nothing, bro. This is absolutely nothing comparatively. Yeah, guys, I have bad news. They've converted me to Steam. I'm done with PlayStation. I'm sorry. It's over. I'm going to be playing all my PlayStation games on Steam. Yeah, I'm renaming my channel to Steam BG. I apologize. A lot happened in the last 24 hours. Unsubscribed. No, I have a gaming PC. I just don't like gaming on PC, man. It has nothing to do with like Steam. Everything I've heard about Steam is it's amazing. And I don't doubt that. And I do wish that Sony would implement like deeper reviews and stuff like that and like, implement some of the things that they have on there. And I'm sure they will over time. But I don't know, man. I'm pretty happy with the PlayStation experience. I really am. That's not even like one of those things where I'm trying to tell myself that. It's like I'm still collecting physical games. I'm still getting platinums. If Sony does some crazy shit in the future to push me away, I don't know, man. The only way I'm going to end up becoming a PC gamer is if it's my only option. I'll never go to Nintendo. To be clear, I will never go to Nintendo. There's like Nintendo, I'm sorry, there's nothing you could ever do. Period. I scratch the broccoli. No, scratch the broccoli. It's going to have to be MB Durst. Yeah. Yeah, that seems to be what everybody's decided on. And it's not going to be that all the time. But sometimes it might have to. And that's okay. That's okay. Like I said, wait until you guys see I got my whole setup here. I might be doing full-blown fucking opening monologues and shit. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to take it that far. But the gay box. It sounded like I just said the gay box. That's not what I said. PlayStation is great, but so is PC. You just do both. I do. I mean, I was like talking to somebody on Twitter today about like State of Decay 3. And I was like, dude, if State of Decay 3 doesn't come to PlayStation, I'll buy an Xbox for that. Yeah, no problem. That's how much I want to play that game. And they were like, well, you could, if you have a gaming PC, you could play it on there. And I'm like, actually, yeah, I could just play it through the Xbox app. But I think honestly though, like I think that's likely going to be a day one PS5 game as well. So I don't know if I have to worry about that. Oh, so hold on. We have a direct dono from Rich Rod. He says, hold on. Okay, bro, like, listen, this guy straight up. Yeah, so you dropped a direct donation about, oh no, it's Alex. He's saying he's a noodle slurper. A fucking dude. I've never heard that term in my life. I know what it means. I've never heard that in my life. A noodle slurper, bro. Like what? Listen. Apparently now people are thinking me and him are a thing. You should have seen it. Shit was getting crazy. I'm like, yo, whoa, hey, what's going on? It's like people got to chill out. I don't know what they think is going on, but you're saying what, Truce? No, like, listen, man, he's probably still at times going to come after me for my fanboy takes. And let me tell you, I'm going to have some fanboy takes coming up. And they're going to be good ones. They're going to be good ones. You're not going to want to miss them. And he's going to come after me for them. And I'm going to defend. And he'll have his retorts and I'll have mine. But at the end of the day, it's all just going to be in good fun. It's cool. I've seen the light. I've been freed. I realize now all that's left to do is truly embrace the fanboyism. They told me the console war's over. I'm here to say the console war will end when I say so. Welcome home, Steam BG. Bro, Steam B, don't do the Steam BG. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, guys, like, I've talked to you extensively about how I want to just talk games. Do I talk about games from a PlayStation slant? Of course. And, am I going to be labeled a fanboy because of that? Yes. Am I a fanboy? Yeah, I am. I'm willing to embrace it at this point. But at the same time, I do, like, on a more serious note, I do have a problem with, and I've had this problem's been building up for a couple of years, where it's like there is a certain level of fanboyism. Like, I think you could just be like a fanboy, like you just love something and you're like overly enthusiastic about it. And then I think there's toxic fanboyism, which, it's when you see people, it's more so about the, I'm only going to be able to, like, fully enjoy the thing that I want to enjoy at the expense of the other thing. And I think that makes sense when we're talking about companies and corporations in intense, heated competition. But I've been talking to you guys for a while about how that's just not a thing, unfortunately. And I've also talked to you guys about how, like, it seems like a lot of people are not able to move on from, like, for example, I just did the stream talking about Fable. And how, like, yes, me personally, I've had certain Xbox fans reacting to things I'm saying and doing about being excited for Fable or talking about it. And they get upset because it's like, well, you're being a hypocrite. And it's like, okay, fine. I'm being a hypocrite. But can we at least agree on this one thing? It's okay for people to be excited about these games. Just like it's okay if Sony wants to take one of their games, like Marathon, right? Marathon's going to be on everything. It's okay. Like, it's okay if people are going to be excited for it. Sure. Are there going to be people who are like hypocritical and like, oh yeah, now you're more interested in it because it's going to come to Xbox? Like, sure. But we can at least meet in that middle ground where this is about games being given the extra opportunity to garner more revenue for the studio, for the developers, right? And getting new people in. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Platinum Achievement says, to be fair, you flip-flops month to month. You tried to act PG last month, trying with censorship. Now you're rage bait slop tuber. Oh my God, I'm a rage bait slop tuber. I'm hearing noodle slurper, slop tuber. What the fuck is going on with this terminology in 2026, man? What'll it be next month? Next month, it's going to be just full-blown caricature. Yeah. No, I'm serious. Like, lock that in. That's coming up next. Slop tuber. Listen, do I flip-flop? Yes. Have I flip-flopped? Yes. But fuck you. I'm just kidding. It's okay. It's okay because you know what I haven't flip-flopped on, though? You got to give me this. You know what I haven't flip-flopped on? I like good games. I play good games. I don't just play PlayStation games. I don't. I don't. I've tried. Is Arc Raiders an extraction as well? Yes, it is. Arc Raiders is an extraction shooter. You're more intrigued with Marathon because of the art design. Think it looks dope. We'll see for Arc. Yeah, Arc has a more like Arc Raiders. It looks more realistic and grounded. Marathon, I mean, for all that's said about it, you can't deny it's got a pretty unique look to it, I'd say. That does look nice. More flopping than Xbox's T-flops. Oh, shit. Damn, dude. Oh, and hold on. Rich's direct donation. I'm sorry to keep you waiting, man. Maybe I'm not sorry. I don't know. We got a Rich Rod tax going on now. You're saying don't trust him. I watched him go live in Reforge Gaming less than a week, attack him in his base. You're saying he's a POS who likes men. Jeez. I mean, I don't know. I saw somebody brought that up, and I have no idea what that is in reference to. I mean, I know that Reforge is somebody that gets clipped all the time too, and is brought up on Oh No, It's Alex's channel and many others, just like I am. As for what went down with them, I actually have no idea. I have no idea. Do I trust? Do I trust them? I don't know. How far can the trust go? I don't know if it's that serious. I'm going to be honest. Like, at the end of the day, I don't know that it's that serious. Like, I say this to somebody who, like, yeah, have I gotten annoyed at times getting clipped? Of course, I've expressed that. But I just think that we've just gotten to, at least I've gotten to a point. I'm not going to say we. I'm just going to speak for me. I just realized, you know what? It's all good. I think people are just like, bro, just embrace who you are and what you do, and who cares? Have fun with it. And that's kind of the thing that's like kind of the opposite, I guess you could say, of the way I've been kind of approaching it for a while now, where it's kind of like what Platinum Achievement said, where it's like, I think the flip-flopping from me in that sense comes from a place of like, I just want to have not total control, but as much control as I possibly can. And it's like, I don't think people are understanding what I'm saying here. They don't understand what I'm saying there. And maybe things are getting taken out of context and people are missing things. But it's like, at the end of the day, I just have to let people decide for themselves, where it's like, you can come to my channel at any time. You can watch my streams, you can watch my videos. Everybody's welcome. I just ask that people try to be respectful to one another. I've always asked for that. And it's like, if you do that and you're like, yeah, I don't like you, bro. Like, you're like you're totally unhinged fanboy, or it's just too much, or your chat's overwhelming with the, PlayStation stuff. That's cool. That's totally fine. And you know what? If anybody wants to say, like, look, man, you said this, and that, and I got a problem with this, and that, it's like, okay, all right. Maybe at some point, if I ever feel like I got to push back, if I ever got to feel like I got to, say something more, I will. But I don't think it's that serious, man. I think maybe I've been taking things a little too seriously. I think that's what it is. Just reflecting on myself, not looking at anybody else, not judging anybody else, just purely reflection of myself. It's like, maybe I think I've taken something that's just supposed to be about having a good time, talking about video games, enjoying video games, talking about the games industry. And I started to kind of notice that too, where like I'm looking at what's happening like after the Xbox Direct, and it's like people do start to get really serious. Like I start to get that vibe where I'm like, people are getting really upset about, like somebody will like a PlayStation fanboy on Twitter will post something like, that was a great PlayStation Direct. Love it. Love it. It's like, and yeah, it's like, that's definitely being toxic to a degree. It may be like, I think it has some level of truth, but when you think about what kind of response that's going to get, it's like, yeah, you're going to ruffle feathers. It was a great Xbox State of Play. And I just think that is something that it depends, I guess, on where it's coming from. Like, is the person who's saying that, do you think they're serious about it? Right? One person can say that and it'll get laughs because people aren't taking it serious. Somebody else will say it. Like, I saw that dude, like, even Colin Moriarty some people were calling him out because on, when the Sacred Symbols did their stream, that's what they did. They call it like a PlayStation Direct or something, or like an Xbox State of Play. And, like, should people get upset about that? I'm going to say probably not. Because it's like, whatever, man. Like, let people enjoy. Like, it's like, if people want to look at, I'll keep that same energy, or I'll try to, where it's like, if Sony's going to hold a show, a State of Play, or in the future one day, fingers crossed, a showcase, and it's like, well, this is going to be a, can't wait for Sony's PC State of Play or whatever. It's like, all right, yeah. Okay. I hope they show something that we all like. It's like, I just think more and more people, or maybe less and less people, hopefully, I think people are just getting really, they're too taut. You know what I mean? The tension's too high. And it's just like, who the fuck cares? Like, I mean, care, like, be passionate, care about video games, care about the medium of video games and enjoying them, and remembering, like, why the hell you're even talking about them in the first place. Care about that. But when it comes to, I mean, all the semantics, I think there's nothing, and I want to make it clear, like, I don't think there's anything wrong if you want to get semantical about it, if you want to get nuanced and you really want to get in the weeds, and it's like, well, it's all about kind of, being very specific and careful about how you're maneuvering. I think it's fine if you want to do that, but I do think, at least in my experience, the more you do that, the more it starts to, you kind of start to, you get rigid, because you encounter other people that are meeting you at that same type of, I guess, philosophy towards it. So all this is to say, just have a good time. Try to anyway, right? Try to. If you want, if you want to shit on something, shit on something. If you want to praise something, praise something. If you're being hypocritical, be hypocritical. If you get called out, own it or don't. That's what I've learned in all this time. Puts the axe away. Perfect Image with a direct donation says, MBG, that was the biggest chess move. I didn't think you would do that with Alex. Did you figure... Hold on, let me see. You figure an approach where it doesn't... Oh, you're saying I figured out an approach where it doesn't fuck up the way I do my channel. I trust it. Well, yeah, like that's the thing, man, is it's just... It's one of these things where I think one of the things that a lot of people have struggled to embrace with my channel and with me is that a lot of this, well, actually not a lot of it, like almost, I have to say almost all of it, because I'm sure if I were to look back, there's some things that I'm like, actually, I changed my mind on that, or, you know, my feelings on this completely changed. Because so I don't want to make it like a complete blanket statement, but I just think there's this kind of misunderstanding, I think is what I'll call it, with some people, that they think I'm like I'm not actually into gaming, or like specifically with PlayStation, like it's more like, oh, you, like, I think there's some people that truly believe that my feelings towards the brand, not even the brand, but you know, just the ecosystem that is PlayStation. I think there really are people who misunderstand and believe that that's like made up, or like it's not actually real, and that I'm just trying to keep it going. And that's where I feel like I'm sometimes put in an awkward position where it's like, no, like I don't actually care if like somebody looks at that and they're like, yo, PlayStation sucks, PlayStation's fraudulent, you know, PlayStation is not what it used to be, PlayStation's ripping off their customers. It's like, you know, the whole laundry list. It's like, that's totally fine. But it's just like, I just try to advocate as best I can. I'm trying to these days anyway, where it's like, yeah, like you can feel that way, but we have to acknowledge that there's just a lot of people that like to play on PlayStation. There's just like, there's a lot of people. And that's the thing, is when I say that, I get like Xbox players, they come to me and you're like, well, what about Xbox? And I'm like, yes, I've said that. Like, there's plenty of people who still play on Xbox. There's plenty of people who still want to be engaged with that ecosystem. I see people all the time on my channel that are like, I want to get Magnus. I'm excited for Magnus. And I'm not trying to like turn it into one of these things where it's like, hold on. Hold on. Sorry, Armani, you're saying my birthday is 3 months. I'm going to be 19. Well, happy birthday, man. I hope you have a good one. You're saying I'm disappointed you let Alex tame you like this. He wants the smoke. We have to give it to him. Yo, whoa, hey. I didn't say he's tamed. Whoa, I didn't say he tamed me. I didn't say he's not going to get smoke. All these motherfuckers are going to get smoke. I'm giving mixed signals, I know. Got to be unpredictable like that. No, but I mean, look, man, I'm just trying to be honest, but also crazy at the same time, where it's like, I'm just trying to be honest in that I just want, like, I do earnestly want to talk about PlayStation and the games industry. And I want that to be the crux of my content, regardless of what anybody thinks of it. I just need to put that out here because, again, I think a misunderstanding arises where people, like, I see people are like, oh, what about your viewership? What about your channel? And like, it's struggling and this and that. And it's like, well, yeah, because that it's not that PlayStation doesn't have things going on. It's just, we're not in the beginning of a new console generation. We're kind of at this awkward stage where people are trying to, like, is this where things are going to ramp up? Like, is this where it finally happens? And PlayStation has completely changed the way that they want to communicate their news and how they want to like get people revved up. And I don't feel like I'm not, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, if I was just purely worried about like the viewership of my channel and the health of my channel in that sense, there's many other things I could do, or at least try to do. And it's not a matter of like, oh, well, you're not doing those things because it won't work. It's like, no, there's many things I do that don't work on my channel. I always approached my YouTube channel where I wanted, it's got to be something that I'm inherently, genuinely interested in. Because if I'm not, then I'm just going to end up faking it, you know? And to be clear, a lot of people do that. And there's no, like, I'm not even saying there's anything wrong with that. That's like a, you know, it's a common saying, like, fake it till you make it. And that is a viable option in all areas of social media. I'm just saying that I, I don't, I don't really have an interest in doing that just purely to try to like grow or like, you know, bring up the channel. Because, well, I mean, I'm not gonna want to do it anymore. You know what I mean? Like that's why I'm trying to tell people, like, yeah, I don't, there's a reason why I have a stream like a week ago where I'm like ranting for an hour about Mafia the Old Country and the goddamn collectible trophy, you know? Like I know like so many, like that's so niche and uninteresting to so many people and probably doesn't even help me, but it's like it's real. And that's what matters to me. You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, Devil Shooter, that's true too. That's true too. MRPD says, "Brother, let's talk games." Yeah, I know. I'm getting way off track here. I'm getting way off track. I'm just, look, man. I'll wrap it up by just saying this last thing. I think at the end of the day, I do believe it's not as serious as a lot of it looks on the outside. I really believe that. I think that even me, like I'm guilty of like I think taking things too seriously. I think other people are. And I'm not saying it's all purely innocent. I'm not saying it's all fake. I'm just saying that for whatever it is, whether it's real or not, whether it's a joke or not, I'm not sure that it needs to be taken that seriously. And I don't even know that I need to be taken that seriously. I don't know that anybody in this space needs to be taken that seriously because at the end of the day, we're all just people fucking talking about video games. You know, at the end of the day, we're all just playing games, maybe not the same way, but you know, there's a common thread between it all where it's like, so what are you doing at the end of the day? Yeah, I'm chilling out. I'm going, you know, I'm lounging on the sofa or the recliner, booting up the console, playing a game where I'm on my PC playing something, or I got my handheld or whatever. You know, it's like, yeah, that's at the end of the day, regardless. Like I think about that. Like the people who come at me like the hardest on Twitter and shit and get really upset, I'm like, chill. It's just like relax. You're gonna sit down at the end of the day and boot up your Xbox or go on your PC or whatever, or your ROG Ally, and I'm gonna boot up my PS5 Pro and we're both just gonna be fucking having a good time, getting that dopamine drip, playing these games. So no matter how far people want to take it, it's like you can't escape that there's something here that tethers us all together, whether you like it or not. We're in it together, you sons of bitches. That's what I'm trying to say. Dude, there was a reviewer who literally did not get paid to review the game, but he said he genuinely had fun playing High Guard. Fake, not real. Yo, what is going on with this High Guard situation, man? Power boss. I actually must have missed that. That's fucking nuts and funny. The irony. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this High Guard situation other than, okay, so here's the thing that really threw me off. This actually wasn't a topic I had listed for discussion here, but it's worth bringing up anyway. Because yeah, I guess it does launch tomorrow, doesn't it? Does it launch tomorrow? This game High Guard, you genuinely want it to fail, dude. You are not the only one. This game High Guard, this was the closer for the Game Awards. This was the closer, and people were so annoyed and confused. And we found out not that long ago that that apparently Jeff Keighley purposely put that game at the end. It wasn't a paid spot. And so what's weird is the development studio went completely silent. They went completely dark. They just stopped talking for I mean, I guess yeah, it's going on like over a month now, well over a month. And people are like, what is going on? Now suddenly you're seeing a bunch of content creators they got a chance to play the game and they're all saying that either today or tomorrow, I think it might be tomorrow, they're going to be giving their thoughts and everything. And it almost seems like they're excited about it. But the weirdest thing to me was Jeff Keighley posting a GIF from Jurassic Park saying, you all are going to owe me an apology or something. And I'm like, what? I'm like, that's some doubling down that you only do when you are certain about something. And I'm like, this is crazy. Either that or Jeff Keighley just stopped giving a fuck, because it's like, bro, this game is on its way. It's good. It seems like it's DOA. Like the way people have reacted to it, it seems like it's DOA. But he's just straight up like, nah, man. Nah. You guys are going to be apologizing to me. I'm like, okay. Like, yeah, maybe he's just insane. But it just really got me wondering, like, what are you hiding? Like, what could there possibly be with this game High Guard to make people go from I hate this game and I hope it dies to go from that to Jeff, I'm sorry. This game is actually fantastic. Secret Kojima game. I saw like a fake post from Kojima. It was obviously AI, but it was like he put out this big tweet saying that High Guard was the first true next-gen game he played. One of the best things he's ever experienced. And I'm like, for a split second, I thought it was real. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, what is happening? But we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, so we should dive into today's topics. I'm sorry for going on and on there. But if you guys want to support the channel, we're totally fan funded here. I can keep this thing going because you guys make it possible. There are a couple of ways you can do that. Consider becoming a channel member. Consider gifting memberships, super chats, direct donations. These are all ways in which you can support the channel, the content, and the community directly. Could not do it without your support. We do have quite a bit of members content. We did more than usual this past week, so keep that in mind. And yeah, make sure you hit that like button as well. That helps the streams. I do want to start with this PlayStation 6 delay report, though, because this is it's starting to look real. And Mini Tom Official comes in. He drops 5 member gifts for you guys. Mini Tom, thank you so much, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, it's really, thank you so much for the 5 gifted. That actually brings us to 6. And we need W's in the chat for Mini Tom. Really appreciate it. I'm not sure if there's anybody left who wanted a membership that didn't get one. I'm sure there are some people. I'm sure there are. But most people who've been hoping to receive a gift or a membership, it's been happening. It's definitely been happening. So Mini Tom says, I just wanted to start it off. Well, thank you, man. Thank you. Space Gambler says, thank you to whoever gifted me a sub. I was taking care of my mother who had cancer. Wow, Space Gambler, I'm so sorry to hear that, man. That's awful. But yeah, definitely shout out to anybody, whoever it was. I'm not sure who it was, but shout out to whoever dropped you a member gift, man. They got your back. Don't worry. Early 90s gamer. I'm telling you, you got to look in your account, man. I'm starting to think your account might be branded. You're saying you never get one, but it's fine. Delay it. The generation feels like it just started. Detective Seeds did say a month ago he spoke with a PlayStation engineer, and he thinks it'll be 2029. He got shit for it, but it's looking more and more true. I have to admit, man, like, I would not believe the PS6 would be delayed to 2029 or beyond. I just wouldn't believe that because I'm like, that, it just seems too far. But we recently, so just to recap, in case anybody may have forgotten, just to recap, Tom Henderson was the first one. He came out. And Tom Henderson's a really reliable source. That's the thing that I think is important to highlight. He came out and said that there are conversations about the next generation being delayed. Like those are internal conversations that are happening. He wasn't saying that it's going to get delayed. He was just saying that they're talking about it. And it's not like a shocker, but it is that confirmation of like, yep, they're thinking about it. Not too long after that, Moore's Law is dead. He just kind of wanted to confirm to people, which is understandable because people were kind of misreporting what Tom said, or what Tom they're both named Tom, so you get the two Toms rolling up with the PS6 rumors. There was misreporting where people were taking what Tom Henderson said and making it seem like it's been delayed, like it's already been locked in, that it's delayed. So Moore's Law is Dead came out and just confirmed that, yeah, and then we got the mini Tom official in here, confirmed that that decision has not been made, and that decision likely won't be made until late this year or early next year. And now we have a third report. So you're all caught up. And keep in mind, all this is happening within a span of like 3 weeks. We have a third report, and it says here, in a new report posted by Sandstone Insights in Japanese, a respected senior research analyst at MST Financial named David Gibson shared some predictions on Sony's third quarter of the current fiscal year. While the report looks at Sony's entire operation, including the television and music businesses, the observations on the company's gaming division are the most interesting. For the third quarter, Sony's results are, quote, expected to beat market expectations, driven by sales of both in-house and third-party games. These results will likely make it easier for Sony to extend the console generation as, quote, Sony expects the PS5's life cycle to be extended, and the PS6 is likely to be delayed longer than many expected. So this is being said pretty damn confidently, man. Not only just confidently, but almost definitively. Like they've been tipped off or something. Like Sony has already decided they're going to extend the PS5 generation, and the PS6. The thing that really interests me is the PS6 is going to be delayed later than anyone expected. That's than many people expected. Because I'm like, what's interesting is a lot of people already expect a delay longer than what you're expecting. That implies multiple years. And that's why this whole 2029 thing is starting to look like, wait a second. Is this starting to look like what I think it is? Hanzo, what's up, man? Mr. B, he likes that. That's a W for Mr. B. Well, that's the thing. A lot of people want to see the PS6 come out, not even in 2028. They want to see it come out. Dude, I've seen so many people say they want the PS6 in 2030. Now, this article continues. It says, while a delay of the next console generation is not something we are hearing this month for the first time, the prediction coming from an expert analyst definitely gives more weight to the prospect. However, a longer delay into 2029 or 2030 or even beyond that would make the scenario very peculiar for the console industry, as Sony and possibly Microsoft would be sitting on hardware that will be outdated by the year 2030. This wouldn't be completely unprecedented, though, given that the Nintendo Switch 2 successfully launched in 2025, later than even Nvidia expected, and without the cutting-edge technology. But it would still be new for both Sony and Microsoft. And under the current conditions, it will likely be preferable to delay the new systems rather than release them at an extremely high price point that would not make it very compelling to the vast majority. Says if the PlayStation 5 generation is extended beyond expectations and with no change to the current situation, the outlook is dire for gamers. Quote, the only things that are evolving constantly are the prices. They go up and up and up, said Ashen Wander on the Reset Era forums, echoing a good portion of the PlayStation community sentiment torn between wanting to get their hands on the PlayStation 6 and the rumored handheld. and having to pay an exorbitant price Sony would have to release it with in order to launch it by 2027. So I don't know, man. It's really looking more and more like this console is going to get delayed, because the thing is, where we stand now, it's becoming pretty clear that things are not getting better. They're not getting better. And if they are going to get better, it's not going to happen in the next 12 months. It's going to take longer. And that really is going to put not just Sony, but Microsoft in these awkward positions of like, well, you either release a new next-gen console at a ridiculous price point that is probably going to risk killing it, or like really having it get off to an extremely slow start. And, it's just going to make things look worse, or you just have to delay it. And it's I feel like what this really boils down to ultimately is whether or not people are going to be more upset with getting something that feels more cutting edge sooner at a price point that's going to match it, or are you going to be more upset if they wait a couple years, the price point will be lower, but many people will be pointing out that, well, this technology, this isn't cutting edge. This is a couple of years old. I'm going to say, considering the whole point, at least for Sony, is to reach a mass market, I'm going to say people will be less upset if you just sit on it. I do think that. And Whiskey Gaming, longtime member for 59 months at Play Has No Limits Plus. Thank you for that, Whiskey. You're saying this is where the ability for large software updates might save them, since the PS6 is less reliant on the hardware specs alone. Yeah, that is true. And I do think that Sony is very much banking on that. I think that video that Mark Cerny put out with the head engineer of AMD, I think that's basically everything he was getting at, is like the improvements we're going to see going forward are basically going to be software based and not really hardware based. But the thing that I think is going to still be a bit of a roadblock for Sony is that the PS6, no matter what, is going to be RDNA 5 based. It's already locked in. Like that's the big thing about this, is that this is a situation where, like, unless Sony's willing to just nuke the whole thing and say we're just not doing it, and we're going to like delay it by like they're not going to do that. It's already locked in. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have these massive contractual agreements that they probably can't get out of, reasonably speaking, with AMD. They can't get out of it because it's just like, well, you locked it in. You signed the contract. The APUs are going to be manufactured by mid 2027. So the only other thing is Sony can sit on it for a while. And I don't know, the way things are going right now, it could change. A lot could change. I think that's a smarter move. I think you just want to sit on it. Let the PS5 Pro and the PS5 breathe more for a longer period of time. And I think, like, truthfully, I think people will be understanding. Maybe I'm giving people too much credit, but I think they will actually understand, like, why when the PS6, if it were to come out in 2030, it's like, how come this is like tech that was made available in like 2027 and early 2028, and we're just getting it now. And it's like, I think everybody will know why. Everybody who cares. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anybody's going to look at, will people still shit on it for it? Yeah, but I just don't think people are going to really hold that against it, because how could you? It's like, nobody could have predicted this. Can't Sony make custom RAM for the console, though? I don't think so. As far as I'm aware. That's true. If the hardware crisis lasts for some years more, there's a chance they won't even release new consoles at all and focus on cloud gaming and PC. I hope that that won't happen. Not for PlayStation. That's a nightmare scenario. If Alex isn't catching the smoke, Mrs. MBG and crush it. Yo, Mrs. MBG, yo, Gaming Survivor, bro. You gotta cool it with the. You gotta cool it with the roids, bro. with the juice. He's coming in here like just raging. He's like, he wants to destroy. He wants to break something in half. What's the? Oh man, it's not. I keep wanting to say synthol, but that's not what it is. Oh my god, it's like that famous steroid, the one that makes people go crazy. Why can't I think of the name? It's eluding me. Sorry, I'm like operating on like 3 hours of sleep. MRPD, you're saying, bro, I'm seeing more and more people come on Twitter saying they're playtesting / reviewing Highguard and they're implying the devs cooked. I'm not liking this. Yo, MRPD's panicking. Wait. No, wait. Hanzo, a member for 22 months, says, sorry for being away from the streams. Hope all is golden. Blessings to the OGs and new faces. Let the games do the talking. Absolutely. Highguard's going to do some talking. Trend, thank you. Lay off the trend, Gaming Survivor. I don't know why I couldn't think of it. I'm like, it's right there. It's right there. Gaming Survivor's on too much trend. He's like, Trenbolone? Yes. It's making you go crazy, bro. Yeah, I've heard that, Mr. Veggie. I am thankful. I am thankful for that. Yep, that's actually a possibility, MBG. I was surprised they were doing PS6 at all. Anyone smart enough understands the specs will be aware of the hardware crisis. Am I excited about what I saw for Forza Horizon 6? Yeah, I think it looks really good. I am a little bit jealous that it's not launching day one on PS5, but I'm really glad that they did confirm it's coming later this year to PS5. Because I was going to consider, like, you know, okay, maybe I'm going to have to play it somewhere else. But I had a strong feeling. I was like, I think they're going to let us know, because they already did. They were like, yeah, it's coming to PS5 later. Muhammad, Forza Horizon's not trash. It's not. It's straight up just not. It's really good. It's a fun game, dude. You're excited for Fable more? Very in tune with how Crimson Desert's looking with the how immersive the worlds are. Fable really did surprise me. I did not expect it to look that good. I thought it was gonna. I thought, truthfully, like when we saw Fable, and it's not because I was rooting against it. I was just being realistic about it. I'm like, I think people are gonna walk away. It's gonna be mixed, but it's just mostly positive. I'm like, good on them, dude. Good on them. They said it was not day one because the PS5 version was not ready. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a little while. We have like an interview from the head of Xbox Game Studios talking more about that. Can you imagine if Highguard brings the end to Fortnite? That would be the greatest, literally the greatest plot twist in gaming history. Literally. I'm not even being facetious about that. With the PS3, Sony used XDR DRAM. It's fast, but it wasn't used on home PCs and consoles because of the price, way too expensive. Trying to use uncommon RAM for a console, it's not a good idea. It sounds like they would run into a whole another host of problems, you know? As I understand. All right, let me see here. So, yeah, I don't want to go on and on and on about the PS6 and it being delayed, because we have been talking a lot about the PS6, like maybe too much, but it's just one of these things where we're still going to be getting reports, and I think people are just trying to get a better understanding, you know? People are just trying to get a better understanding of what to expect, you know? Like, is it going to get delayed or not? I think people are just kind of eager to know. And, you know, when we get these like analysts coming up being like, yeah, it's going to get delayed, it's like, okay, all right, yeah, everything seems to be pointing in that direction. Pushing Polygon says anyone who actually understands the hardware business should know that for a product that's almost 2 years out, these decisions are not close to being made. Yeah, it's probably something that they're monitoring and bringing up in their meetings to just kind of like, prepare well in advance of like, different scenarios of, what if we do have to delay it? What does that mean? What does that look like? But yeah, from my understanding and everything I've heard following this, it sounds like if Sony were to lock in a delay for the PS6, like, I mean, lock it in like PS5 for another 1 to 2 years or more, that decision will be made at the earliest, I think, the beginning of next year, at the latest, closer to maybe mid next year, which would be, I mean, that'd be cutting it super close. I'd say like by like March 2027, I could see us actually knowing by that point. We'll be playing PS7 and our nuclear fallout shelters. Absolutely. Yeah. 2028, I can understand, but 2030 is lunacy, MBG. 2030 that sounds too crazy to me. That to me sounds too crazy. I think a big portion of this might be determined by GTA 6. Not to bring that up again, but I do tend to think that it might be a situation where if GTA 6 starts really boosting Sony's numbers for an extended period of time, like it's not just a couple months, it goes on for months and months and months, like that could be something that influences them to be like, maybe it wouldn't be so bad to just kind of ride this generation out for another year, right? But I don't know. It does sound like 2030 does sound crazy to me, man. A 10-year console generation. I'm not like fully opposed to it, but yeah, there is kind of I feel like that kind of messes things up a little bit, or like a lot, because the thing is, if the PS6 APU is done, I can imagine Sony sitting on it for like a year, even like a year and a half, but like 2 or 3 years, I'm like, at that point, you have to question like why they didn't just renegotiate a completely new contract and just start over. But, it's expensive. The thing is, everything that Sony's doing with the PS6, just like they did with the PS5 and the PS4, it's expensive, man. It's high risk, but there's a strategy to it. There's a kind of there's an expectation attached to it. And I get the feeling that Sony does not want to delay the PS6 to 2030. 2029, I think, could be a possibility. To me, I still think if a delay happens, I'm thinking holiday 2028. I'm thinking a 1-year delay. I think that sounds good enough. But at the same time, though, and I guess this is the last thing I'll say before we move on, is if Sony even makes the decision to delay it in the first place, then at that point, I think it does create a chaotic scenario, like a very chaotic one. And maybe that's why Sony is really hoping they don't have to delay it, because think about it. If you're going to delay it, you're doing so in the hopes that things will change in the short-term future. And if they don't, then you basically delayed it for no reason. And the longer Sony sits on these things, the more risky it becomes, where it's like, again, every month that goes by, every 6 months that were to go by after, from a delay, it's just like, it's like they're technically like losing money, right? Like it's not a product that's on the market yet that should be selling, that should be bringing people in, that should be making them money. It's just sitting there. And, if they sit there for a year with it, or a year and a half, and it's like, sir, nothing has changed, we still have to sell it for the same price, then it's like, what the hell was even the point of the delay? So I have no doubt that if Sony were to delay the PS6, if we find out like a year from now they're delaying it, I have no doubt that they have it on good authority that things are going to change. But if Sony's looking at the a holiday 2027 PS6 launch, and it's like, well, not like there's no word of this changing at all. Like it seems like this is just how it's going to be for many years to come. If that's the case, then they'll just go with it. You know, they don't have a choice at that point. It's like, yeah, we can't. What are we going to wait for? Nothing to change? May as well just drop it now. So, yeah, we'll see. Oh, geez, Mr. Veggie, why are you doing so much in the chat? If they delay to 2030, then they should start the hardware development process over, as even NVIDIA would move forward wildly by then. Yeah, I mean that you're right. That's, I mean, how bad is it going to look? But then you also, I don't know. You also think about the law of diminishing returns, where it's like, what will be? And this is a serious question I have, right? Where like, what would be the difference between a PlayStation 6 RDNA 5 APU that was manufactured in 2027, released in 2030, versus a new NVIDIA technology or even AMD's technology that's cutting edge in 2030? Like, my question is, what will be the tangible real world differences there? You know what I'm saying? Where it's like it seems like we already kind of are hitting a bit of a wall here, where I don't know if things just need to slow down or if there needs to be more meaningful changes made. Maybe not changes, but more meaning. We need to see more meaningful changes and more meaningful upgrades, not just in the console space, but in the PC hardware space as well. That's just the kind of question I have, more broadly speaking, where I have no idea. Like I don't know, man. I'm just at a point where I'm like, I got a PS5 Pro. I'm not gonna lie. I got a PS5 Pro. I'm looking at games like Wolverine. I'm seeing GTA 6. I'm looking at Soros. I'm looking at Resident Evil 9. Granted, they haven't shown that running on the PS5 Pro yet, but I'm sure it's gonna look fantastic. And I'm just like I'm playing Mafia: The Old Country right now, and I'm like, these games look fucking great, dude. Like, they look awesome to a point where, don't get me wrong, if Sony wants to come out with a PS6 not next year, but in 2027, well, no, that is next year. What am I talking about? In holiday 2027, and it's like it can get even better. Yeah, I'm going to be excited about that as somebody who's a fan of PlayStation. But I just can't deny that, like, what I have right now is pretty fucking good. You know, it's like I don't feel a need. Doesn't mean there wouldn't be a desire, but there is no need. If Sony gets me excited for the PS6 and can create that desire within me, not a FOMO, but a genuine, like, wow, that does look really fucking cool. I'm excited for this. But I'm not in this position right now where I'm like, man, what the hell? What's up with these games? Why do they look like this? Why do they run like this? Like, we need next gen. We need the upgrade. I don't feel like that, you know? Excuse me. If there's any game anyone can name that looks a generation better on PS5 than Arkham Knight running on a base PS4, oh shit, Arkham Knight. Well, I'll say it again, man. I think GTA 6 is going to be the upper limit. I do. I think GTA 6 is going to be the upper limit of, like, if you want to know. I'm sorry, I don't know what's. I don't know if I have a little bit of a cold or what. If you want to see, like, the absolute maximum upper limit of what can be achieved with this hardware and this technology, that being the PS5 and the PS5 Pro, the Xbox Series X, GTA 6 will be it. And I think the problem with that is you are not going to see a game better than GTA 6 at the launch of the PS6. I mean, let's just be honest. Like, I think you could see graphics that look better, you know, like just pure graphical fidelity. But in terms of, like, a game that's going to, and that's where it gets more into game design philosophy and game design talent. You know, it's a little bit different in that sense. But Michael, you're saying Naughty Dog can do it if they'd make a game. If they'd make a game, Savage. Yeah, I mean, yeah. You think Naughty Dog will ever make an open world game? You think Intergalactic will be open world? I don't know. Naughty Dog's not on my radar at the moment. Got to be honest. MBG, don't underestimate Sony. Demon's Souls is still the best looking. Well, yeah. Well, I have no doubt that whenever the PS6 comes out, dude, we're going to be blown away by the graphics. We're going to be blown away by the graphical fidelity of games. But again, it's like even right now, shit I'm seeing is blowing me away. Like I know that RE9 is not going to run. It's not going to be able to match like the highest end PC. But just what they've been showing of RE9, I'm like, I know it's going to look pretty damn close on the PS5 Pro. I'm like, this looks fucking insane. You know, it looks awesome. But we'll see. We'll see, man. Got to let these studios cook. Got to let the talent cook, man. Yeah, I saw that MRPD. I saw that they posted about that. And people were like, first post about Intergalactic in 2026. You're actually curious from the Insomniac leaks about the contract with Marvel and how Xbox got Blade. Yeah, that was really random. That's a game that sometimes I forget is in development at Microsoft. Blade. Didn't the movie get canceled? I know that they were having a lot of trouble with the movie, but that's another game I'm rooting for. Hell yeah. I think the movie's I think it just got canceled. Capcom doesn't make good-looking games, in my opinion. They're like C+ to B+ graphics-wise. And I'm a Monster Hunter guy. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, something like Monster Hunter I don't think is top tier. But I think about like, I don't know. I think about like Resident Evil 4 Remake. I think more so of the Resident Evil games because I feel like the RE engine has proven to be really, really good. Yeah, we got Michael out here hating on those Capcom games. Michael, stop being a hater, bro. What are you doing? The movie did get canceled. Shaking my head. The game is my only hope. How does that Blade movie get canceled in the MCU? That's actually wild to me. Like they can make movies for God knows what in the MCU that nobody asked for, but they got something awesome with Blade and they're like, we don't know what to do. We can't figure this shit out. It's like an unsolvable equation. Like what? Whatever, man. And they had like some real talent attached to it. But, who knows how these... Yeah, we'll get Madam Web. I think that was Sony, ironically, dude. We'll get Madam Web made. Blade, get that shit out of here. Cancel that shit. Did you hear that they found a writer and director for the new DCU Batman movie? And it's the losers who made the Flash movie. Oh, no. Oh, no, bro. What? No, I didn't hear about that. I did not hear about that, man. That's really, all right. All right, then. Oh, well, but they still got, the other Batman movie, right? So there's that. I think people are still excited for that. RoboCop / Terminator is made by AA developers. Don't get your expectations up. Wait, what's that in reference to? That Terminator game was good. Terminator Resistance. I enjoyed that. But I do want to move on to the next topic here. I don't want to take up the whole stream talking about the PlayStation 6 because it is. I know it's a little bit redundant, but that Sony's being very quiet right now. Sony just seems to be focused on Marathon. They haven't really been saying much else. And in the interim, we've been getting these kind of random PS6 possible delay reports. So they casted Sebastian Stan in the other Batman movie. Shit's going to be peak. Oh, yeah. What is Harvey Dent, right? Oh, dude, that's actually... Yeah, you're right. That's so weird and random, but I'm all for it. They casted Scarlett Johansson as Catwoman. Catwoman got recast. That's going to be awkward when they... Like, what are they going to say? Are they just not going to acknowledge it? It's like pretend nothing happened. Pretend it was like this the whole time. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be pretty good. Wait, was that confirmed? Hold on. Now we got to hold on. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me fact check myself. Okay, none of these questions that are popping up. Is Scarlett Johansson left-handed? That's not what I'm God. Playing Catwoman. Let's see. While reports in late 2025 indicated Scarlett Johansson was in talks for a major role in Batman Part 2 and Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman was not expected to return, sources later suggested Johansson might be playing Gilda Gold or Gilda Dent, not Catwoman, in the sequel. But details remain under wraps. Oh, okay. That has to be it then. Because we know that Sebastian Stan was cast as Harvey Dent. So, okay. I totally missed that. Yeah, I was like, that's crazy. That's crazy. They just straight up recast Catwoman. So random. But, all right. We do need to move on to the next topic here, though, which talks about. Let me get this out of here. I want to talk a little bit. I know a lot of people aren't interested in sales data, and I'm not going to get too nerdy about it here or like too in the weeds, but there's just a couple things that I think are worth highlighting, truly, because one of the things that I've talked to you guys about extensively is how when it comes to gauging sales and following this stuff, I understand it has a bad reputation, and it's because a lot of people weaponize it and make it toxic. And that does bother me because it's like, I think there are other more, like people want to use it as a reason to say this thing is better than that thing. And that's fine. But I'm more interested in what it says about the bigger picture overall health of the thing that we're interested in. And so when we start this, we're looking at the PS5 Pro. And I have to admit, this data genuinely surprised me, where I would not have anticipated this. It says of all the PS5 consoles sold in the USA last year, approximately 13% of them were PS5 Pro models. That's a very reasonable number for this console, and it's roughly in line with the same amount of PS4 Pro sales, which also accounted for around 13% of the PS4's lifetime sales in the US. But the big difference here is that the PS5 Pro is $750 US. That is nearly, and this is the crazy part to me, that is nearly double. Double. The PS4 Pro was $400 US. This console is almost $800. If you want the disc drive, it is going to be more than $800. And I find that surprising, simply not even because of what the internet was saying, where there's so many people who call the PS5 Pro a scam. There seems to be so much hate towards it from certain people. They just don't like it. It's not that. It's just the simple fact that, like, dude, it shouldn't be like this. I'm just going to say it flat out. It shouldn't, like, the PS5 Pro should not be selling this well at nearly double the price, and it is. And what do we make of that? What do we make of this? Well, I think the first and most obvious thing is don't trust the internet. Yeah, there is an audience, there is a market for this specific product. I think it reveals that Sony actually did make the right call even though it was questionable leading up to the launch, like should they actually go through with the PS5 Pro, they looked at the data of the PS4 Pro and probably thought, yeah, but even Sony's probably surprised, where it's like, we didn't expect it to sell this well. Now, granted, it's just in the US, so we don't know how it's looking beyond that, but this would make more sense to me. This would be less surprising to me if it was like a $600 console or $650, but it's $750. It's nearly $800 with a disk drive, or over $800 with a disk drive. The second thing I think we can take away from this is that, yes, I think it is safe to say at this point that people, a lot of the, not just people, but a lot of the discourse that you saw, a lot of the discourse that you saw at the reveal of the PS5 Pro, I remember I couldn't buy into it completely. Oh God, what are we doing? I couldn't buy into it completely. I couldn't because I'm like, I don't know, guys. I think people are losing sight of the fact that this is an optional console. That this is like the equivalent of if you want to upgrade your GPU in an already decent to good gaming PC to make it that much better. And people were talking about it like it wasn't that. There were so many conversations and there was so much discourse that seemed to revolve around this idea that Sony's making, like, you want this new gen console, you want this new thing, you have to pay $700 or you're going to miss out. And I just don't think that they came out of the gate with that angle at all. Like, honestly, I think I'm going to be real. I don't think they did a great job marketing the PS5 Pro. I thought that they really kind of like, bro, you're showing me like scenes from Ratchet and Clank and The Last of Us Part 2 and Spider-Man 2, and you're like zoomed in. I'm like, I don't like, look, man, I'm excited for this, but even I'm looking at that, I'm like, I'm not really, I don't know. This isn't really doing it for me. Like, I'm not seeing that any difference really hardly at all. And so I think the way it was marketed, while it was weak, I think that was probably the smarter way to do it, because it's better to just, with a product, I think, like the PS5 Pro, you don't want to oversell it. I think that's a mistake. I do think the PS5 Pro has not gotten the type of support that maybe it should have gotten by this point. Not to say that it's hasn't gotten any. It's gotten a lot of support. A lot of it's been good, but it's been more mixed than you would have expected, which has been a little bit frustrating. But for the games that are, most of the games that are PS5 Pro supported, a lot of them, I should say, because I don't know if it's most. I'd actually have to look at a list. But a lot of them, I think, do a great job and do justify. It's like, yeah, this is what I had hoped for. Other games, it's more along the lines of, this just kind of sucks, or if it doesn't suck, it's just not very good. Like it's unideal. Is that even unideal? Neo 3 soon. Yeah, Neo 3 is coming soon. I might try the demo for it. MBG, the PS5 Pro proves you would not underestimate big fans of Sony. I think people will buy a PS6 at $800. Oh, I no doubt. I think there are millions of people who will buy an $800 PS6. I don't doubt that at all. I think it's just more about, when you look at the PS5 Pro, even though it's doing better than maybe many of us thought, like, I did not expect it to pace with the PS4 Pro. It's not going to sell beyond the PS4 Pro. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, the PS5 Pro is not going to be a mass market device, no matter how long it's on the market. And that right there is why I think they can't sell the PS6 for $800. Because it's like, you'll get those couple million people at first, but sales are going to slow down a lot real quick. And when they do, the only thing that's going to change people's minds is a lower price point. So I think Sony might just have to eat shit and subsidize the cost of the PS6. I'm going to be honest, man. They should. I would not be opposed to seeing that. Sony eating the cost so we can get a more affordable PlayStation console. This is why I think Sony they have to be careful, where it's like, hopefully they're not about to abandon their business model, because I do think they could still succeed. But yeah. But the PS5 Pro, man, I had to share that data with you because, again, I did not think the PS5 Pro would be selling at the same rate that the PS4 Pro is, at nearly double the price. I think it does indicate that there is absolutely a market for a Pro console, even if it is more expensive, even if it does come off as more premium in its price. the market's there, the audience is there, and they're being served. Would the people who bought the PS5 Pro, would they have been okay if it didn't exist? Probably, yeah. I mean, what other choice would they have? They'd still be comfortable playing on their PS5s, but there's just a lot of people that when they see the PS5 Pro, they're like, I want the best version. And there's absolutely games like Ghost of Yotei, for example, which we're about to talk about, that prove like, yeah, man, when the PS5 Pro is taken advantage of, you can get some incredible results. And so the second piece of data here has to do with Ghost of Yotei, where I don't really need to rehash it that much, but you guys know just as well as I do. And I want it to be understood. I say this as somebody, I enjoyed Ghost of Yotei. It's far from my favorite PlayStation game. It was okay overall. Like, it's a very well-made game, and I did enjoy it, but it's not like a game that stands out for me that much. I liked Ghost of Tsushima better, but I thought Ghost of Yotei did a lot of great things. But I'm prefacing this because I just want to make it clear that I'm not one of these people that's like a Ghost of Yotei fanboy being like, everybody has to believe that this game's going to sell incredibly well. And, we gotta dunk on these bitches and, dunk on these hoes and all this shit. It's like, no, I don't care. Like, I want to see it do well and not flop just for the sake of, I don't want to see anything. Sucker Punch, I think, is a talented studio. I don't want to see any game like fail per se. Especially one that looks, like everything I've seen of Ghost of Yotei. I'm like, it looks good. But there's no denying that a lot of people were anticipating that Ghost of Yotei was going to like mega flop or shit the bed. But this data came out from Circana. Again, this is only for the US, but it's still significant. On PlayStation 5, they released the top 10 best-selling games of 2025. And this is the list. Number 1, Battlefield 6. Number 2, NBA 2K26. Number 3, Ghost of Yotei. Number 4, Black Ops 7. Number 5, Madden 26. Number 6, EA Sports College Football 26. Number 7, MLB The Show 26. Number 8, Black Ops 6. Number 9, EA Sports FC 26. And number 10, Forza Horizon 5. Forza made it on the top 10, which is crazy when you consider that game released 4 years after. But, yeah, something that needs to be pointed out here is how Ghost of Yotei... Oh, it's worth noting that Ghost of Yotei is the only single-player game on this top 10 list. The only single-player narrative game. Just single-player game in general. Everything else here is a live service or a sports title. And number 3, man, the thing that really blew my mind about this, and this isn't me trying to take a shot at Call of Duty, because we've already talked about that. I've already made it known how I feel about Black Ops 7 and the situation that Call of Duty's in. But I am fucking flabbergasted that Ghost of Yotei outsold Black Ops 7. Like, that is... I mean, I don't know... I don't know that we fully understand how bad Black Ops 7 performed. Because that's fucking crazy. Like, on PlayStation, of all things, like, that's where, like, the biggest Call of Duty audience is, apparently. That genuinely caught me off guard, where I'm like... Now, granted, Black Ops 7 is right behind it. Maybe in the end it will surpass it, but... I don't know. And ironically, Battlefield 6 is number 1. I think maybe it would be different if Battlefield 6 didn't exist. Maybe Black Ops 7 would be higher up the list, but I just feel like this is the absolute proof that, it puts the conversation to rest. It puts it to bed. Where it's like, if Black Ops 7's budget was 10 times out of Yotei, probably. Yeah, probably. I think it puts the conversation to rest finally of like, if there was any lingering question, any lingering doubt whatsoever as to whether Ghost of Yotei was a successful game and did well for Sony and Sucker Punch, this is the absolute undeniable proof that it did. And again, Why are we going over this information? Not that I necessarily need to justify it, but just to make it clear. Well, it's because if you are somebody who if you enjoyed the PS4 Pro and you're enjoying the PS5 Pro and you're wondering if the PS5 Pro flopped and it's something that Sony might never do again, like a pro version of a console, all signs point to, they're getting good feedback. They're getting good results. There may be a PS6 Pro. If you're somebody who liked Ghost of Yotei, if you're somebody who likes Sucker Punch as a studio, if you're somebody who likes these single-player narrative-driven games that Sony puts out and you want to see them continue to do well so we can get more of them, so Sony can look at those results and see, should we continue to reinvest in this? This should, while it's not 100% confirmation, it is enough to, I think, draw the conclusion that, yeah, there's going to be there's going to be more games like this coming from Sucker Punch. Not necessarily Ghost games, but Sony can safely continue to reinvest. All right. Let's see where we're at here. You're saying the PS5 Pro specs confused a lot of people, but it's really custom and a really good machine. RDNA 2 stream processors, so no dual issue shaders. It has no AI accelerators, but a lot of Int 8 tops 300 and RDNA 4 ray tracing. I like the Pro. Michael, you're saying your PS5 Pro freezes sometimes. I don't know if that happens to anyone else. It's rare yet frustrating. That's never happened to me, Michael. That's kind of weird. Next state of play, we're getting Ghost Legends. Did I miss an announcement or something? Is there a rumor? Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. Ghost of Yotei Legends. Oh, I'm looking now. Yeah, Ghost of Yotei Legends. I don't know, man. The problem with Ghost of Yotei Legends for me right now is by the time it comes out, like if it came out today, that'd be great. Or like next week, that'd be great. I have a distinct feeling Ghost of Yotei Legends is going to drop when I'm at a point where like I don't give a fuck. Like I'm playing other games now, Like basically when I have a feeling it's going to launch like the week after RE7 comes out. RE9. Why did I say 7? And I'm just like, I'm good. Like I'm, you know what I mean? But I would like to go and try it. The thing I'm curious about with Ghost of Yotei Legends is if it's actually going to be different. I said RE7 because it's so good. Yo, oh, wow. MRPD, bro. Whoa. See, this is where things are starting to get a little weird. You have a group of friends that are waiting for Yotei Legends. We sank 100+ hours in Tsushima Legends. Wow. 100+ hours? That's impressive, dude. That's a lot. You're saying, I'm seeing people on Twitter still butthurt about Ghost of Yotei's success. I guess beating Call of Duty was not enough of a proof for them. To be honest, I don't understand how anybody could still be mad at Ghost of Yotei for doing well. Like, I've tried to explain to people, like, putting everything else aside, like, I'm not saying this means you have to like it, but people just have to accept that the game did well. And the reason the game did well is because it was a well-made game. You know what I mean? Like, there's no like conspiracy around it. There's no like secret or some kind of puzzle that needs to be solved. It's just the game did well because it was a well-made game. Very well made. It will never be enough. That's true for some people. Absolutely. And it's okay. You can say you hate it. You're allowed to hate it. You could say it's garbage. You're allowed to think it's garbage. You can't say it didn't do well. You just can't. Objectively. Like, it's just, you can't deny a fact. If it did poorly, then yeah, you could say it did poorly on top of everything you said. And that would be an objective fact as well. But I wouldn't play Black Ops 7 even if it was gifted to me. Me either. Me either. They did put it out there for free for people. Man, they really missed the mark with that game, dude. Like, they really missed the mark. I've seen a lack of excitement for Call of Duty in the past, but Black Ops 7 was like next level. All right, we got one more topic here to go over. Before we do, guys, like I said, if you want to support the channel, consider doing so. We are ways away from hitting the goal. It's okay if we don't hit it. I appreciate any of the support that you guys show. But we still have a little bit of time here. We'll see if that happens before it's all said and done. Make sure you hit that like button, by the way. We're about to hit 100 likes. Get this out of here. All right, so this last one has to do with the head of Xbox Game Studios talking about being more consistent with its PS5 release timing in the future. So this comes, almost immediately after we got the Xbox Direct. The Xbox Direct, as we know, they announced Forza Horizon 6 also coming to PS5. Every game at the Direct is coming to PS5. That's pretty much the important part. And I would say the other important part is that Fable is day one, but Forza Horizon 6 is seemingly going to be delayed by about 6 months. It says here, Xbox Studios boss has said Microsoft is going to try to be more consistent with its PlayStation 5 release strategy going forward. In its continued push towards becoming a multi-platform business, Xbox released 6 titles for PlayStation 5 in 2025, with more planned for this year. However, it's been somewhat inconsistent with its release strategy so far, with some games arriving later on PS5 like Indiana Jones and Avowed, while others were released on day one like Gears of War Reloaded and The Outer Worlds 2. The inconsistency is set to continue in 2026, with last week's Xbox Developer Direct confirming Fable as a day one release on PS5, whereas Forza Horizon 6 is arriving later on PS5. Speaking to Games Radar, Xbox Game Studios boss Craig Duncan suggested that the realities of development were the reason for the later release of Forza on PS5. There's always development realities that when these projects start, how big a team is, and what plans we have at the start of development, he said. Like you said, when a strategy changes, maybe you've got a plan that exists with a game, and maybe you can adopt that, maybe you can't. So that's why. And to be clear, this is totally fair feedback. Sometimes we are inconsistent. You see games in one place, some games in multiple places. Just know that we are going to work on that, and we're going to try to be more consistent with what we do. He continues, but for our game makers, if you're on the Fable team, you just want as many people who love Fable to appreciate the great work that the team's doing. That's always our goal. It's rarely more complicated than that. It's like, how can we get this game to as many players as we can? When Craig Duncan was asked about the ideal scenario for its PS5 release timing going forward, he stopped short of confirming Xbox's intentions to release all games on day one like it does on PC. Quote, "My number one job is to help our teams be successful," he said. "If I think about my role, some of that is optionality about how we do and how we approach." You used the word port before, and not to sort of pick you up on that word specifically, but wherever our games show up, we want them to show up and be the best that they can be for that platform. So we want to take advantage of whatever features and nuances that platform has. So that may lead to a bit of optionality, which is to say, if we're only in a position to release a game on a platform and not have it show up really well, then I think we wouldn't do that. I think we would have the conversation internally and go, hey, unless we can do it really well and do it right, do the right thing by those players, then that's when you get into the conversation of, well, maybe we can ship it afterwards. The executive continued, because teams are only a set size, we only have a certain amount of, and it just says ultimately, it all comes down to resource. Not everything is limitless, so we just want to do the best job by each platform, by each game. So in that world, sometimes we'll maintain optionality. Some games we might go to PC first, others we might go to console first. Grounded 2 is a really good example of this, which we launched into game preview on Steam and PC initially. So yeah, I think it won't always be the same. So I think the only problem I see with what he's saying here is it's like you're saying you want to be more consistent, but then you basically end up by saying we're kind of just going to not be, and we're going to have to make decisions when we make them. But in the context of what this means for PlayStation and future Xbox titles and PlayStation, so I actually appreciate what he's saying, because I think he kind of hits the nail on the head where it's like, okay, if you're saying, like, basically what I'm taking away from this is we're not putting Forza Horizon 6 day one on PS5, because if we did, it would be missing stuff. It wouldn't be taking full advantage of the PS5 Pro, maybe not the DualSense. Maybe I don't know if there'd be like certain content missing, or it just wouldn't be fully optimized. And I'm like, okay, that's the right call. If you need another 6 months to get it where it needs to be and then release it, that's more important ultimately than just being there day one. Because yeah, I do think that he sounds like he's being pretty honest in that our teams are kind of limited. I mean, Playground, they're working on 2 massive AAA games, Forza Horizon 6 and Fable. One of those games, I imagine they have a team that can port. It's like we have to choose which one can we make sure we have day one. It's got to be Fable. We got to make sure Fable's day one, because I think that one's more important. I think Forza Horizon 5 proved that, like, you guys can kind of wait a little bit on that. But, oh, thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. No, I don't. Well, actually, I technically sometimes I do if I record a video and I'm reading some of these articles. So technically. Devil Shooter, that's interesting. Yeah. That's interesting. Fable, I think, did get delayed before. Yeah, but now it's coming out this fall. But yeah, the whole takeaway for me with what the head of Xbox, the new head of Xbox Game Studios is saying, I mean, he said a lot there, but I think to just kind of summarize, like, the gist of it is they're going to try their best to make sure that for the games that are targeting consoles, they're going to try to be there day one for PS5. And I think the message is clear. It's not surprising at this point, but this is just in the same way that we have to just drive home that Ghost of Yotei sold well, regardless of what anybody says or thinks. The proof is here. You can't deny it. If we look back to the conversations that people were having about Xbox a year and a half ago and games going to PS5 to where we are now, we've read so many quotes from Phil Spencer, from Matt Booty, from God knows who else at the Xbox division. But now they have Craig Duncan. He's the head of Xbox Studios, and he's just making it very clear, in my opinion, like, we're not trying to not put games in these places. If any of our games are not in these places, it's simply because it's not ready and we don't have the bandwidth. But we're building that up, and that's our hope to get to that point where that won't be a problem anymore. And yeah, it just kind of reiterates what we've been saying. There should be no question about it. I know on my last stream, some people got a little bit frustrated at my title, or they thought it was me being fanboyish, where it's like, or being like toxic fanboyish, where I was saying, there seemed to be some Xbox fans having a little bit of a problem with Fable going to PlayStation. And listen, man, like, the reality is, yes, I'm not saying the people that I'm encountering matter that much. I know that sounds harsh, but I'm not trying to make a bigger deal of it than it is. But the reality is, yes, people are coming to me and they're being like, so you like Xbox games now? And that's what makes me get a little bit defensive, where it's like, I know the position you're trying to put me in. And what you want me to say, because this is what you choose to believe, and this is what you're trying to press upon me, is yes, I only like Xbox games now, and I only care about Xbox games now because they're coming to PlayStation. And I always end up in the same spot with this conversation where I've just accepted that there's nothing I can say to make those people think otherwise. So instead, I'm going to tell those people, okay, whoever they may be, if you ask, if you believe, if you ask me, I'll give you an honest answer. I just hope you're willing to listen. But for those who aren't even asking, they're just telling me, you're a Sony pony. You only care about these Xbox games because they're coming to PlayStation now. Yes. Yes. That's right. I only care about Fable because it's going to be on my PS5 Pro. If Fable was only on an Xbox, fuck that game. And fuck Xbox. I will never, ever. Phil was right. Phil Spencer was right. He said Starfield could be 11 out of 10. It's not going to make you go buy an Xbox. Boom. I don't even need to say it. He said it for me. You're goddamn right. Okay? Fuck the fact that I had an Xbox 360 and fuck the fact that I had an Xbox One at launch. That doesn't matter. All that matters is that your games belong to us now. Cry. Cry. What are you going to do? You know what they're going to do? They're going to say, well, I get to play PlayStation games on my Magnus. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Your Magnus. Your made up fantasy console that doesn't even exist because it's not a console, it's a PC. You get to play the PlayStation games that Sony decides to bring to PC when they decide to bring in the PC. You'll wait. Just like I'll wait for Forza Horizon 6. Anyway, I just have to clear that up because, you know, on the other side of that, now that what I just said right there, I want to make it clear. Oh, they're going to clip me? Oh, I hope they do. Clip. I hope they, yeah, that's the point. Clip it and ship it and have a good old time. But I do need to, oh God. It's snowed so much more since you started your stream. We can't even see our front steps anymore. Oh God. I'm being punished. See what happens when I get feisty? Alex is around the corner. He's coming for me, bro. But listen, what I just said right there, that's directed towards the people who aren't asking me. If you're somebody who's not asking, that's my answer. I'm telling you. Now, if you're somebody who's asking genuinely, MBG, are you only excited for these games because they're coming to PlayStation? My answer is a bit mixed. On one hand, for a game like Forza Horizon 6, I need to put it out there. I know a lot of you guys know this, but I got all the achievements on Xbox for Forza Horizon 4, bro. I played that on my Xbox One X. You know? State of Decay 3, that hasn't been confirmed coming to PS5 yet, but I'm assuming it will be. I would literally go out and buy an Xbox for that game if Microsoft never did any of this. To be clear, I would go out and buy an Xbox for that game. Or I'd at the very least, I played on the Xbox app on my PC, but I'd still probably buy an Xbox for it. Forza Horizon 6, obviously, Fable. So the thing about Fable is I've always expressed interest in it. Ever since they announced it in like 2019 or 2020, I always said I'm curious to see how this game turns out. Maybe this will be a game that convinces me to go get an Xbox. All right. Games I don't give a fuck about, even though they're on PlayStation. Avowed. South of Midnight. When Starfield comes to PlayStation, I could not care less. I could not care less. Phil Spencer could come to my home and hand deliver me a physical PS5 copy of Starfield, and I'm going to tell him to get off my property. Okay? I don't care. That game, Kiln. That game doesn't even exist to me, bro. I don't even know what that is. Halo. Listen, man. I tried to get into Halo many times in the past. It just didn't work for me. I tried. I liked the idea of Halo. I liked what I was seeing, but when I would play it, I'm like, it's just not doing it for me. Is it cool that Halo's coming to PS5? Yeah. Do I care? No, I don't. So, I just for the people who are asking because they're actually willing to hear what I'm saying, I'm here to tell you that there are many, maybe not many, it's like 50-50. There are absolutely Xbox games that I've always been interested in and would still be interested in whether they were coming to PlayStation or not. The final thing I'll add to that, though, because I think it's an important caveat, is I think there needs to be a reasonable understanding for the people who are willing to listen that yes, guys, would I expect Xbox players, even the most crazed diehard fanboys, if Sony announced tomorrow we're doing a state of play and every PlayStation game you see is going to go to Xbox, would I expect them to suddenly be more interested and excited to tune in? Yes, abso-fucking-lutely I would. How could I not? Would there be levels of hypocrisy? Yes. Would these same conversations and same toxic back and forth bullshit occur, but on the other side of the coin? Yes. But the reality is there would absolutely be people where it's just natural human psychology where it's like, so you're not going to forcefully make me leave where I am to play these games. Okay, yeah, I'm more willing to see what you have to show. That's just basic human psychology. Anybody will tell you that. But, and that's it. That's it. I think that, Microsoft, they're fully third party. And, I think just to sweeten the conversation, maybe spice it up a little bit, not sweeten it, spice it up even further. Would I care if Sony said we're bringing Soros and Wolverine to PC and Xbox day one? At this point, no, I would not. I would say to them, well, you might struggle with console sales. Hey, you get down from there. What are you doing? I would say, Sony, those are your exclusives that are meant to sell systems and entice people. You may see a slowdown in sales. Don't get all butthurt if that happens. That's what I would tell Sony. Don't get all upset if that happens. However, if you were to ask me, if Wolverine and Soros went day one to PC and Xbox, if you were to ask me, Chris, take care, man. If you were to ask me if I think that would hurt PS5 sales, no, I don't think so. Nobody's going to go out there and buy an Xbox at nearly what is it? Series X is nearly $700 at this point. Nobody's going to be doing that just because they can now play Wolverine on there. The reality is Microsoft unfortunately put the Xbox console in a position due to the constant price hikes. I mean, they're pretty egregious, dude, where it's like, even if they did get everything, it would still be a tough sell. The PS5 would still be the cheaper option. So, yeah, I don't care. Microsoft, they're focused on Magnus. They're focused on a PC hybrid. They're focused on publishing. They're focused on making high profit margins through publishing. They're focused on Game Pass. Hardware is not in the driver's seat anymore. Hardware for Xbox is not in the passenger seat. It's not in the back seat. It's tied up in the trunk, pretty much. So, yeah, and that's it. Let me see. But this is the year of the Xbox. It's the year of Xbox publishing, certainly. Every year is going to be the year of Xbox publishing. Oh, and I I want to address that one other thing too, because I've seen this on my Twitter feed probably more than anything, which I'm like, get like what? These like butt hurt. I don't know. I don't even know if they're Xbox fanboys. I don't know what they are, but just these dudes that are butt hurt that they're like, you're just tell Sony to make more games, bro. Microsoft is out gaming them. It's like, bro, what are you telling me? What are you telling me? It just is so bizarre to me. It's like, well, yeah, we all want more games from Sony, but why can't it just be good enough that they put out a handful of games, a couple of games a year, and they're some of the best of the year? What the fuck is wrong with that? Like, it's like, I get it. Who doesn't want quality and quantity? But these are the same people that are going to try to, they're going to try to make it seem like South of Midnight is on the same level as like Death Stranding 2 or some shit. It's like, what are you talking about? But my whole thing with that is like, why are you so mad and upset? Like that, you know what I mean? They gotta, they gotta hang on to something. It's like, dude, stop being so mad and upset. Like, if you were, like, listen, if you're a Microsoft fan, like you're a fan of Microsoft Publishing and their games, and you look at how many games they have, why does it matter how many games Sony's putting out? That's like being a, to me, that's like the equivalent of being like a, just like a big Ubisoft fan. I don't think those exist. It's like being a major fan of Capcom. Like a big, like I love Capcom. They like those are Capcom games are the ones I care about the most. I like other games, but Capcom's that's my go-to. And then like going up to somebody who's more of a fan of like like more of like a Ubisoft fan and be like, tell Ubisoft to fucking get their shit together and start putting out good games, bro. It's like, all right, maybe in the case of Ubisoft, that is true, but it's like, you see what I'm saying? Where it's like, but I thought you like, but if you like Capcom games, what does that have to, why does that bother you so much? It shouldn't. It should not bother you. I don't know. I've just been seeing some weird shit, man. I've just been seeing some weird, I always see some weird shit every time there's an Xbox show. Ever since Xbox announced, yeah, go tell Konami to make. I'm afraid to tell Konami to make more games, man. I'm okay with it's like Konami. You don't have to make more. Just make them good. See, like it's cool. It's cool. I just feel like ever since Microsoft announced that they were going multi-platform and bringing their games to PS5, like there's just, dude, there are people that I encounter like they're so upset. And I'm just trying to tell them, like, you don't need to be upset. Like, you being upset reveals your toxicity. Like, listen, the biggest thing that I genuinely get frustrated about sometimes is, because somebody did this to me on Twitter. They were like, here's what you guys are saying about Xbox games coming to PlayStation. You're the toxic ones. And you know what they did? They took 4 screenshots from 4 other Twitter accounts that are known to be like toxic PlayStation fanboys. I'm like, that's not me. Nor have I ever spoken a word to any of these individuals. I don't even follow them. I don't follow them. I don't retweet them. I don't even know who half of them are. And they're like, you're part of it. Like, no, I'm literally not. That's the funny shit to me that people bring to me, where I'm like, dude, you're showing me other people's tweets and trying to make me responsible for them. And that to me is the insanity, where it's like, you're so upset at me for some reason that you're taking other people's tweets and using them to make me seem like the bad guy. Okay. And honestly, it's stuff like that. That's why I made the last stream I did, where it's like, yes, there are some people who can't seem to be okay with like normal, mostly normal, somewhat normal PlayStation fans just being excited for Fable being on PlayStation. You know? I'll give you an example, right? It would be like if Sony announced tomorrow God of War is releasing on Xbox, the next God of War, or they're remaking God of War 1 or whatever, remastering God of War 2018, and it's releasing day one on Xbox. It would be like, okay, I'm scrolling through Twitter. I see 4 different accounts that are Xbox fanboy accounts talking shit. And then I see a 5th account of somebody who maybe has a reputation of, being fanboyish, occasionally talking shit, but maybe now they've chilled out, and then being like, well, these 4 guys said this, so that's you. Like, it's literally not, man. It's literally like if they showed me 4 of my tweets, it's like, okay, I can't say anything about that. You're showing me my own tweets. You got me. That's the shit that really, I'm just like, it gets tiresome where I literally am just turning to those people. It's like, brother, let's just be excited for Fable. Okay. Like I'm happy for Xbox. Okay. I'm happy for you as somebody who likes Xbox games and their studios. And those are the people that weird me the fuck out at this point. They weird me out because it's just like, that's all we're trying to do here, man. But yeah, what are we going to do? Right? What are we going to do? Anyway, where are we at? So I'm all messed up today because I stream everything was discombobulated today. Nah, there's Concord. Twitter makes people go insane, as you can see. Bro, come on. What are you saying? Wait, are you saying this, but you got a picture of Phil Spencer? Bro, you got an AI picture of Phil Spencer with a PlayStation logo on his shirt. Oh, no. Fable woke 30 frames per second trash gameplay. Wait, was it at 30 frames? I didn't even notice that. Well, I guess it was, but all right, man. Hey, dude, Muhammad, you're not helping me. Muhammad says all facts. You're not helping me. Help me, bro. You're saying, but the Xbox owners say every PlayStation exclusive is shit. Well, see, that's where I just feel like are there dumb, annoying people that claim to be Xbox fans and then they just spend time shitting on PlayStation games? Yes. Just like there are dumb, annoying people who claim to be PlayStation fans, but they don't even play PlayStation games. Like, they don't even really engage with PlayStation. They're more focused on making sure that they're shitting on Xbox, PC, than they are just enjoying PlayStation. Yes. Like, this exists all around. And I'm just trying to say, like, we need to create the dividing line here for the sake of our sanity, bro. Of like, it's just like people having meltdowns and like it's either done in a funny way where we're joking, we're all joking, and we all kind of know that. But unfortunately, in this space, that's the crazy thing I've noticed. In this space, it's like, no, dude, there's really, really weird people And it's just like, you want to yell at them, like, stop being this weird, man. I'm not talking about content creators. I'm not talking about like people with a large social media presence. I'm actually like, I am talking about just the kind of, like you just see like the random accounts pop up, and it's like, here, I got baited today. I'll bring it up. I said this today. I said this, and I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what you guys think. I said there are two things that I think continue to create a bad look and feels like, hold on. Yeah, I said there are two things that I think continue to create a bad look and feels like forced console warring at this point. Number one, PlayStation players being salty towards PC players being excited for Sony games on PC. Number two, Xbox players being salty towards PlayStation for Microsoft games coming to PS5 or towards PlayStation players. I said at the end of the day, this is only going to continue across the board and will result in more revenue for the studios and more players being introduced to these games and franchises. Xbox is still making Magnus. Sony is still making the PS6. So from the console perspective, it's all good in the foreseeable future. This guy, listen, this guy responds, this guy T or whatever, I don't even know who the fuck this is. They have 200 followers. This person says, idiotic. I love how you ignore the worst offenders. PlayStation players' salty Xbox has taken over the games industry, completely eclipsing PlayStation game output and quality and carrying PlayStation. Xbox players do not care that games are on PlayStation. We still have the gold treatment. PlayStation is an afterthought. Like, this is the high level of mental retardation that I have to be subjected to. Granted, I choose to be on Twitter. So there's something, maybe I need to get myself evaluated. But dude, this is like, I'm going to read this again just so we are all on the same page, my friends. I said, number one, it's not real. It's not real. I said, number one, PlayStation players being salty towards PC players for being excited for Sony games coming to PC. That's what I led with. And this guy, idiotic. I love how you ignored the worst offenders. PlayStation players are salty that Xbox has taken over the games industry, completely eclipsing PlayStation games output and quality, carrying PlayStation. Like, bro, you're a fucking idiot. Like, do you not, like, how do you not know? How do you not know? If it's rage bait, then it worked. That was Adam Sandler. Like, it's just like, no, man. Like, you're not even a closet Xbox fanboy. You are a fucking full-bore Xbox fanboy. Xbox is taking over the games industry. Like, dude, literally, I'm telling you, Xbox is good, bro. Like, I'm saying we need to chill and embrace their games and embrace what they're doing. Like, what is happening? What is happening to the internet, man? This is why I just want to give up. Oh, man. I swear I'm going to take these tweets and I'm going to do the craziest skit. I'm going to do the craziest, most unhinged skit, man. Fuck. Oh, and mind you, by the way, I left this part out, but if you're wondering why I'm like, why is bro getting so worked up over a random tweet? It's because this is a post that's upvoted, man. But it's like people are agreeing with this. And that's what it's like. This is why stupid people become even worse. They become even dumber because they're being like rewarded for being this stupid. They're being told you're right. They're being told this is okay. Should we just animate your videos now so you can do funny voiceover work? Yeah, maybe. I mean, shit, dude. All right. I mean, I'm not, I know. But MBG, didn't you say earlier in the stream, don't take it so seriously? I'm not taking it that seriously. I'm just trying to have some fun with it, man. It's not that serious. That guy is actually genuinely fucking retarded though, but I'm not taking it that serious, you know? It's just like I'm on Twitter. I know what to expect. I know what I'm dealing with. I'm just, I like to get a little revved up sometimes. All right. I'm curious what other people had to say though. Oh God. Welcome to the Foot Clan. Oh no, I'm next. I'm next. What did I do? What did I do? Welcome to the cult. It's over, guys. It's over. What did I do? Anyway, we have Craig Harris, a member for 16 months, saying PS6 isn't getting delayed. Well, there you go. Craig Harris, thank you. I was waiting for that confirmation. Oh my God, dude. The amount of banana and broccoli emojis. Thank you, Craig Harris. Maybe you're right. But guys, I think this is where I'm actually going to wrap it up because I'm getting a horrible headache and I think I have to shovel more, dude. Apparently the snow is really, really piling up. Rich Rod, I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it for when it may need to be used in the future. All right? I may need to deploy it in the future, but No, I'm not rude, Rich Rod. I got you. But yeah, I got some shoveling to do. Guys, that's going to do it for today's episode. Again, sorry it was a little bit later than normal, but I still wanted to put a little something out here. I put out a news video earlier. You can go check that out if you want. And that's it. So thank you all for showing up. I'm only going to ask that you hit the like button on your way out. Yeah, I got to rehydrate probably. Hit the like button on your way out. We will have obviously more content coming this week. So just make sure you have your notification bell turned on. And also want to give a shout out to Devil Shooter, who does the timestamps for these streams. So Devil Shooter, thank you for that, man. And yeah, guys, stay safe. If you have crazy weather like I do, and please enjoy the rest of your day. Guys, I will catch you all in the next one. Until then, take care, everyone.